Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of Leading on Mondays. My name is Florin, and I'm so delighted to be with you today on this episode where we're going to look at how do we motivate individual strengths and individuals rather than looking at the group dynamics. And in this episode, you're going to only see me. I'm here live with you because Madalina is not available today. We wanted to really get out to you with this message. And so we took the time to pre-record this message. But I'm here live. I'm going to engage with you in the comments. So let's not delay this any further. With no further ado, let me show to you what we recorded for. Okay?
Florin, usually leaders think about their team as a group. And in our previous videos, we were talking about that leaders should actually treat each individual in the team personally, not as a group. So what can you tell us more about this topic? Is it good for leaders to look at the team as a group or to look at them as individuals? And what would be the benefits and maybe the disadvantages of that?
Yeah, thank you. So I think we could actually do both as a leader. We could look at our team as a group, but also definitely we need to consider the individuals. So if you think about our team being a final product, and because I have this background in automotive industry, you could look at your team as the car, right? But in order for you to understand the car and to be able to get the best performance from the car, you need to actually optimize each part of that car. And the challenge is that all of those parts are different. Now, I'm not gonna, don't think about your people as parts that you can optimize or lifeless, just steel or plastic. No, don't think that way. But just think that they're uniquely, built. Your people are unique individuals. And what makes them unique is actually their experience, their background, their culture, religion, gender, everything about them, it's unique. That's actually one of the beautiful things, because we each are unique and we each can bring something unique to the table. The challenge is when we try to motivate everyone in the same way and we treat everyone the same, actually we don't use and we don't maximize the strengths of the team if we treat everyone the same. And this goes with all these companies that want to build a diverse team. And the challenge, and I posted about this a couple of weeks back, is like, don't try to build a diverse team, but motivate everyone the same. I mean,
we know from the previous meetings that definitely people don't have the same motivation factor.
Absolutely.
So if you try to motivate them the same way, you won't succeed, because some will be motivated and some, from your perspective, not their perspective, from your perspective, they are unmotivated because you didn't get the right motivator factor for them to do something.
Absolutely.
So
and there's a wonderful book by Matthew Kelly called The Dream Manager. And the whole idea of that book is that an organization had a person that the person's only job was to help people achieve their goals, achieve their dreams. This person was the dream manager. So the dream manager is not the kind of manager which is the dream person. This person's job was to manage people's dream. So in other words, this person would meet with people on the team and understand what is their motivation. What do they come to the office? Like what makes them jump out of bed in the morning? Do they jump or crawl out of bed? Right? And why do they come? And they realize that someone, and this is with the company in the cleaning industry. I mean, that's one of the jobs that people do not wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm so excited today, I'm going to clean some more toilets. This is my dream job. That's not their dream job.
Something in mind, yeah.
Right? That's not their dream jobs. So definitely they they really want to go much deeper, and they realize that some wanted their kids to go to school, to college. So some others wanted to buy a house for the family. Others want to pay a debt, to pay a loan. Maybe others want to bring some of their families, from abroad. And then what happened is that the company created a structure system where employees contributed to each other's dreams, and then the company, and they had a fund, they collected money, and this money were used for people's dreams. For example, they offer a scholarship to someone that has a child that should go to school. They offer someone a loan, to buy a house with lower interest or with zero interest. So they could actually, instead of paying the bank, they'll pay back to the company. So this built actually that kind of, loyalty in an industry that, the turnover was probably, 50%.
Oh, actually, I think that's a good point. Actually, they create loyalty because, of course, if I was in this example, I would stay in a company that actually helps me to fulfill my dream. That would be even great. So it's a problem if I find that my company is not helping me to achieve my dream, and I can find out there's another company that actually builds upon my dream, and I will think twice: should I go there? Should I stay here? So yeah, that's actually a very good point. I didn't think like that. So it's a good eye-opening for me.
Absolutely.
Good approach, Florin. Let me ask you something else related to the individual strengths. Why should leaders look at individual strengths and not as the group strengths of the group? Sorry, of the group, of the team.
Yeah. So I think the reason why we look at individual strengths is because if you have a team and you want, one of the best dynamics in your team, you have to look at, do we have someone on the team that its strength or their strength is to drive results? Like for a team to actually be able to succeed, we look at the results being the end goal of every team. But in order for us to achieve results, we need to have some intermediate steps and some other type of team member. So for example, if you take a football team, for someone to score a goal, the person which is out there in the front, they need a support system like every other team player to pass the ball, to actually take the ball where it needs to be, right? Without that person could just sit there, in the front lines, do nothing, right? The same happens
I'm waiting for the ball. Nobody's giving me the ball. Yeah.
Exactly. So the challenge is that the leader looks at the team and actually say, well, okay, if we're not performing, then we need more, driven people. And the people that are not driven on our team, actually, they are, the problem. And that's wrong. Because in order for the team to work well together, you need all type of personalities on your team. So when you look at individual strengths, you actually want to know exactly in which phase your team is. So whenever I sit with the leader and I take them through a team report that I created for their teams, we're looking at, and I ask them these questions: is your team expanding? Is your team shrinking? How long have people worked on the team? I want to understand everything about what the phase is, in which phase they are as a team. And then to be able to take that from there to where they need to be. Because in different phases, different teams will need different kind of individuals. So when we look at the team, we look, okay, so actually your team doesn't need more driven individuals because they actually tend to be very individualistic. And yeah, those individuals have good results, but you need to increase the overall performance of a team. So you're not going to do that by hiring one or two more person that drive results. You're actually going to want to create an environment where each individual can bring their strength to the table and actually value them for that. I remember now of an example from World War II when Winston Churchill had a really big problem with continuing the fight, just because they were running out of coal, because the miners from the coast thought that their goal as a as a man of England were to be out there on the front, fighting. And Winston Churchill
Yeah,
went back and did a speech for the miners, explaining them that if you don't provide a call, we will not be able to actually maintain this war. And
right.
it kind of linked the goal of winning the war and defending England and London with their job, right? And then miners actually saw value in what they're doing, because otherwise everyone thought that my goal and the best way for me to serve my country is to be out there in the front, right, on the front line. So this is what the
Yeah,
leaders need to do,
yeah.
right, to connect individual strengths and put people in their strengths areas. Don't try to, someone which is introvert, don't ask them to speak with your clients. That's not what they want, and they will hate that.
They will hate that, and they won't be comfortable. They won't do a very good job. They fear about this exposure. Yeah, so it's important. And this example with Winston Churchill actually got me another example in mind, that especially now with everything is happening around us, with around Romania with Ukraine war, actually people don't realize what are their value. It's very important in this situation. Just try to bring this example into your working place, into your company. People don't know exactly that their role is vital for the company, or their role is important to the company. And when I was playing the leadership game with the people in a company, we got to a question: how can you make sure that people consider their working place as somewhere to inspire them to build a career, and not just a paid working place for them, just something, yeah, I get paid from that, I don't care about that one, but I get money. And I actually got a question from somebody saying that they built an application, the team built an application, and afterwards the application was took and was presented to the clients. And then the people who presented this project actually got the feedback from the clients, and how this application is going to actually help the clients in their day-to-day activity. And the people developing the application, they actually didn't know, okay, we developed this application, it's just one wheel in the whole arsenal, yes. But after they saw the feedback from clients and how they see what is this application for, they got so motivated to say, yes, I want to build more applications like this. I want to help people more with what I can do. It's not just a developer in a team. I'm somebody who's actually putting his hands on something bigger than myself. So this is important for people to find out what are their strengths. And for the leader, the role for the leader in this situation is to make sure that they put the right people in the right places with the strengths they have.
Absolutely.
So it's
This
very
is
important.
challenging. This is challenging many times for leaders, because many times you just take over a structure that it's already in place, and you have roles, and you have names for those roles, and you have a task split, and now all of a sudden this guy Florin comes in and tells you that your people might not sit in the right places, on the right seats on your bus here. That's why this person you see, they might not perform well in customer service, because that's not one of the strengths. So you better want to reconsider that. And sometimes it's challenging, because it challenged the way we've done things up until now.
Can I share another example? I really find this very inspiring for many people. I was talking a few weeks ago with a leader who was actually it's a woman, and she took a role as leadership for a group, for a team. And I actually identified that some of I think 2 people in her team, they were not in the right place for them. But the roles that they were playing in the team were vital for the whole team. And what did she do? She actually said, I made sure that I talked to some other managers and moved the people from my team to their team, because this is what they want to do. even though I was, let's say, I emptied some of the too important spots in my team. And I said, why did you do that? This is, well, why it's ironic in this situation, because I just trying to create the coaching awareness. So I said, why did you do that? Didn't you risk something on that? What was your motivation to do that? And her motivation was actually the people motivation. The inner motivation was, at the end of the day, I can sleep very well because I know that some people are actually doing what they love, not what I want to do. And guess what? They actually, because they left the team, they actually left these two spots open for better people to fill the place, to fill the spot. It's like people with the strengths in those area, because the people who were before, they didn't have the perfect, like the good strength or the good capabilities to do that. They were just like a medium level, and they actually left the spots open for other people with better skills to come up and fill the spots. And then guess what? The second team thrived. This team thrived because everybody was in the right place, in the right team. So
Absolutely.
that's a good
That
important thing. And I would like to ask you of next, how can a leader make it a safe environment for people to actually value their own strengths, and to work on their strengths area in the team. So how to
I
create
think
a safe environment?
sure. There is something, for example, when you have a diverse team, it actually takes a lot of. I don't think that leaders really realize what does it mean to manage and lead a diverse team. I think there's still many leaders do that just because they heard it's okay, they heard it's good, is the next thing to do. You cannot say that you don't want to have a diverse team, especially
Yeah.
around all the buzzword which is around diversity, equity, and inclusion. So leaders and companies set these goals for, we want to have more women in tech, we want to have a diverse team, but they don't really know what it means to have a diverse team. Think about having a diverse team might mean that you have people with different coming from different countries, speaking different languages, different religions, right? And all of a sudden, just recently, for example, my wife has a colleague which is a Muslim, so they celebrate Ramadan, and this colleague didn't come to the the lunchroom and didn't have lunch for about a week or so, and she just forgot. She forgot that he might be fasting, so she just went in and said, "Hey, why are you not coming for lunch?" And he said, "Well, I'm fasting." Oh, sorry, I forgot, right? So how many times, think about a leader needs to know what are the different customs and maybe important dates and important celebrations in each of their people culture. So if someone is Romanian, now your Easter in Romania would be 1 week later than our Easter here, right? In Sweden, right? For
Yeah.
the Palm Sunday that we don't celebrate in Sweden at all, or in Denmark, it's actually the one of the biggest celebrations in Romania. And for me and my wife and my mom, it's our name date, right? We are Florin, and we celebrate flowers, and that's
Yes.
1 week before Easter, right? So it's
Yes.
actually
Right.
right. So someone not being aware of that, you cannot create that kind of personal experience, and you don't allow them to live their values if you don't make it safe. And so then you add more religions, you add more backgrounds, you add more languages, something that it's a joke in your language, or it's something that it's okay to say, might be perceived completely different in someone that their mother tongue is not English and they don't really get it, and for them means something different. So I think leaders do not really realize how big of a challenge they have to leading diverse teams, and actually how important it is on the other side to create that personal experience, and to make sure that when I say something, when I say to someone, Happy Easter, and they're a Muslim,
Yep.
right? It's very easy to just say Happy Easter. Now it's Easter, right? Happy Easter. But I don't celebrate Easter, you know? So that's how you make it safe for people to live their values. It's like being aware of all the baggage actually and the background that the person comes with and what's important for them. Like, and you would want to have that kind of conversation. Hey, Madalina, I'm really curious and I'm new to this. I don't know. Do you even celebrate Easter? Like, what do you celebrate? And when is that? Right? Some cultures celebrate New Year's Eve on in the beginning of 7th of January. Others celebrate that in February. I think in Iran, I know they have a different calendar, and that will be they do it in the spring solstice, right? And that's when they celebrate. So all these things that we need to be aware of. Maybe they want to have a day off in February, and we ask them why, because everyone has day off in December. That's when we celebrate, right? So all these things create that personal experience, but all of them take energy and effort from the manager, from the leader. But I don't think there is another way. Unfortunately, that's why you're paid as a leader, and that's your role. So
to think about all the people in your team.
You have to.
I actually had yesterday a talk with somebody who is Catholic, and because here in Romania we have Easter and we have some national days off, Friday and Monday after Easter, Friday before and Monday after. She said to us, I celebrate Easter this week, not next week. Why don't I have a day off?
For example.
And it was so right, because in this situation, she's not celebrating because it's a woman. She's not celebrating next week. When we celebrate it, she's celebrating this week. So it's an issue with this situation. So you need to actually create an environment to include everybody in the team, and to actually involve in all traditions that people have. And I also been around when I visited a client in US, I was around an Indian people family, an Indian family people, and they actually didn't celebrate because they don't celebrate Easter. But I wanted to, because I was during Easter when I celebrate as Orthodox. We went to a church in US, and they actually saw how we celebrate Easter. And that was okay. It's not my religion. It's not your religion. So we have different religions. We have different celebrations. But let's try to involve people just for them. Okay, you don't need to. Sorry for this saying this. Maybe I'm wrong. You don't need to pray to my God. I don't need to pray to your God to enjoy just a very good time together, to spread joy and things like that. So you don't need to change religion or to bow in front of a specific God. You just need to be there for people. And I have one last question for us. Now it's related to leaders, because we talked about people in the team and they have different strengths, they have different personalities. But what if somebody who is an introvert person have a leadership position? And usually when we think about leaders, we think about extrovert people, very outgoing, people, yes. Also goal-oriented people. But what if I am an introvert leader with this kind of role as a leader? And what should I do in this situation? Because for me, it would be difficult to discuss with people. It would be difficult to be outgoing, extrovert. What would be a solution for me to actually be a good leader for my team?
So first of all, you can be a good leader, whatever personality you have. It's not that some personalities are better than others. It's just that each personality would lead differently. So if you would be on someone's team, which is extrovert and results oriented, and you are actually introvert and people oriented, you would feel that your leader is actually rude sometimes. It's actually pushy. It's asking a lot. If you would be on someone's team and that person is an introvert, and you will feel that person is caring, that person is considerate, that person is not pushing you. So each leadership style actually leads in a different way.
Can I just just that one thing, because we had the leadership game with the team, and the manager in that situation was an introvert person. And when we discussed about how do you see your leader, some people were saying that he's cold. He's like he's keeping distance. He's not getting into the personal interaction, things like that. So not only caring, but also on the other side of the scale, it can be also seen as a cold person, not interactive person.
Yeah,
we have different approach on this.
But the blue, sorry, the blue C-type personality on the DISC, framework, it's actually an introvert and very much task-oriented. These are the researchers, right?
Yeah.
So and
yeah.
The reason why this person is perceived that way as being a leader is because the company probably made a mistake when they promoted them as a leader. They actually took what many companies do, the best technical person, and promote that to be a leader of the team. And instead of looking for are the person's skills and talents actually matching a leadership role, or is better to keep them as an expert and let them work on what they're good at, and just hiring someone or finding someone which is a leader. Because so many times we promote the best technical person, and what we do, we lose an expert and we gain a bad leader. And it's not that, it's just because it's not natural for them to be interested in people, and they have to make an effort every single time to do that.
Extra effort, yes.
And it takes energy to make an effort to pretend or to control your behavior every single time. So if someone is an introvert and it's a leader, first of all, they can lead that way too. The only thing is that they need to be aware of what kind of leader is my team needing right now. In other words, a newly built team, they'll need a more direct extrovert leader that has to give them instructions and clear tasks and push them in the direction they want to go. A more stable and more experienced team might need a different type of leader. So this kind of introvert and stable leader could work very well and lead a team. If the team it works with innovation, this person will probably not be the right person to be there, right? If the team works with customer service, probably this person will be the best person to lead the team. So depending on the team phase, the team, what the team does, and what is required from the leader to actually lead that team, is not that this person is not fit for a leadership role. Is maybe they're not in the right leadership role right now, and maybe the team needs something different. So when the team needs something different, then that's when the question you ask comes into place. What can I do to give something different to my team? Because now I'm aware that this is not what my team needs, and that's when you get to. I think everything that has to do with leadership can be learned. The challenge that people have is that they believe that personality is something fixed. You get it when you're born, and that's it. And that's not true, because it changes, and really impactful life events change people. If we do a role, a job for long enough, changes us. Might be a process of 5 or 6 years. We usually tend to self-identify with the title, right? So if I'm a coach, like, you don't want to know the Florin from 10 years ago. I mean, I was a control freak. If we went really, if we went together on a journey by car, on a trip, something, I was the one to say, hey, 8 o'clock point, everyone in the car. And if there were people who were not in the car, I almost leave without them. Like, come on, 8 o'clock, we have to leave. I was so focused on, I had a plan, it has to be my way. And then people needed, we need a break. No break. The break is scheduled in 2 hours. That's when we're going to break. And so I was making the journey such a nightmare for people that they didn't want to go with me anymore. I mean, why? And I was so focused on the destination.
Okay.
that I made a journey a nightmare. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to, when I actually got certified as a coach and a trainer, then I learned some stuff, and I started to apply little by little by little by little, and over the last 5-6 years, my personality has changed. And I'm still extrovert, I'm still results oriented, but my need for control is much lower. I was a high red D before, and now I'm that's my kind of second shade, if you like, on the personality. So I'm yellow and red, but that has changed. So whatever your personality is right now, it's not fixed. It can change, and you could change if you want to. So you could do it on purpose. You know that you need to be more extrovert and be better at leading your team, so you do that on purpose and you learn to do that. Or maybe you have to sometimes you have to change.
You will be
Sometimes,
pushed to change. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes events in your life, if you have if you build a family, you have a child, you lose someone, you have an accident, and all of a sudden you survive a car accident, and then your perspective on life changes completely, and your personality changes completely. So don't think that whatever you have today, you're stuck with that. You can always learn. It's a matter of is this actually what you want to do long term, right? Is this actually this kind of role do you want to do long term? Is you learning some of those skills to be better with people and more extroverted a little bit? Would that help you on the long term? Because if it does, then you maybe want to do that. If it's just a temporary position, maybe you can force yourself to lead that position for a while, knowing that this is not what you want to do. So I think there are things that leader could do. It's just a matter of, is this where I see myself in the future? And am I willing to pay the price to get to learn those skills? Or maybe I'm okay with that right now. This is not my dream job, and I know I can transition into something that fits my skills better.
Well, good points today, Florin. I'm so happy that we discuss about these topics. I would like to continue the discussion next Monday. It will be in May with unconscious bias.
Oh wow.
This is what we have in our topic, so we can discuss a little bit about that, and we will talk about how leaders can not only leaders but everybody can have an unconscious bias, and we will talk about what is that and how can we identify it and how we can actually change it in a better solution. So thank you for Florin again for this meeting, very lovely meeting. Have a good week, everybody, and see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Madalina. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right on. Was it good? We really wanted to record this and have it out to you because we knew this is gonna be the Easter in Romania, and it's Orthodox Easter, and I didn't want us to miss a week, because what we have learned is that change and development takes consistency. So it's not a matter of you attending one event or the other. It's a matter of you putting these kind of activities into your agenda, so you continuously learn and develop. So that's why we didn't want to miss any Monday. And next Monday we're going to be back, both me and Madalina, live, and we'll discuss about unconscious bias and how that unconscious bias shows up in the workplace. And if you really want to dig deeper in these topics, I'm going to host a free training on this Thursday, the 28th of April, which is, by the way, my birthday. I will host this training just because this is the way I want to spend my birthday. So there is a link in the comment. It's not clickable. You just have to copy that link and go visit it, or just check my profile. You're definitely going to see a post about the free training that we're going to host on the 28th. And I look forward to see you there, and I look forward to see you next week with Madalina, looking at unconscious bias and how that shows up in work. Okay? Thank you for tuning in. Take care, and happy Easter if you celebrate Easter, if you're an Orthodox. Right. Take care. Bye-bye.